All right, guys, so I am going to be trying my absolute best as a long time, many years, thousands upon thousands of hours sunk into Destiny since Destiny 1. I'm trying to make a series of helpful videos to help new and returning players to Destiny. Obviously, a very large player base, and a lot of people come and go. But my focus here is to try to assist specifically new lights, people that have never touched the game before, and returning players. Maybe you took a few years off and you're just jumping back in. My goal is to try to help make sense of all of the changes and exactly what is what. So the very first place we're going to start in this series for this kind of first tutorial is going through the tower, which is kind of the main hub of the game. So I am playing on Xbox. I am a console player, so I'm going to drill right into the director, hit A on that, and this very first place that it highlights for you is the tower. This is home base in the game, effectively. So you drill in, and it opens up this overhead HUD, this map, and you'll see obviously a lot of icons on here. You probably don't know what half of them are, but the two most important are this one right here, the Courtyard landing zone, and this one over here, the Annex landing zone. On all areas of any separate space in Destiny, there is always going to be at least one landing zone. That is a fast travel point. So we're going to start by going to the Courtyard. This is the main starting area in the game, so I'm just going to get this loaded. We'll launch in, and then we're going to walk you through everything at the tower that you need to know so that you can make sense of everything, know exactly what's what, what's where, and why, and how you interact with things up here. Okay, guys, so right when you drop in, you will always be facing this direction. You will constantly see people loading in right here beside you. This is the main kind of home base in Destiny. Right now there's an event going on, so there's this vendor here. They are not always there. But the very first thing that I want to point out is right over here to your left, just directly left of where you start, is Katie 5530. She is your postmaster. On console, it'll tell you exactly what to interact with. On Xbox, you just hold X. And up here, as you go through and you're playing the game, you have limited inventory space, so anything that you can't hold is going to drop in here. And you're going to want to periodically check it out to make sure that you clear out enough space and don't accidentally lose items that are important that drop for you. And you can check out exactly what it is that dropped, the power level, what the perks on it are. You can drill into it, and you can transfer straight to your person if you like, but this is where you can pick up items you may have missed. The next vendor directly to her left is Eververse, Tess Eververse. She is the store, the in-game store. You can interact with her directly here. And she has a pretty big menu here of different options. But no matter where you are in the game, on Xbox, if you hold the back button and open the director, you scroll with the bumpers all the way. The far left option is the store. That's Eververse. So if you're at the tower, you can use her here if you're standing here. But otherwise, you can just hold down back, scroll over, and drill into this store directly. And there's a couple different currencies in game to be able to get these things. One is silver, which you actually have to use actual real money, as in dollars, to purchase things. And some you can get from bright dust. Bright dust is one of the currencies in game, and there's always going to be a selection down bottom here, right directly below where it says bright dust, of things that you can buy. They have shaders, they have all different transmat effects, they have different shells for your ghost, and they also have some perk items that you can use with various functions. And they'll always start with kind of their weekly, hey, here's what's new this week. These are all always going to be taking silver to purchase. Just like if we scroll through the list down here, these are all going to use silver. So real money, silver, and then there's every once in a while one that just utilizes bright dust if you want to purchase it. Cool thing about the store is you'll notice as I hover over this, preview button at the very bottom of that window that pops up, hit Y, and it will show you exactly what the item you're looking at is going to look like on your person. And of course, you can change the colors of it with different shaders, but that's how you can kind of see if it's something you like and want to purchase. And they have seasonal places where you can pick up. They have all sorts of old stuff that you can pick up if you just jump back in or you never played. You didn't miss out on it. You can pick it out right here. And they have a separate bright dust column, second from the bottom, which shows an expanded menu and expanded options. And all you have to do is hover over, and you'll see exactly what all of these things are. Her store is essentially ornamental, plus a few in-game perks and boosts, if you will. All right, so that is the store. The next place that I want to point out is right over here, Master Rahul. If you played Destiny 1, you will remember him. He is the guy that decrypts engrams, one of the in-game currencies. I have several here. I don't need to decrypt them, but when you first load in, he'll always start by showing you your engram list. Then on Xbox, you hit B to back out, and then you'll see there's some other options here. The very top row, you can swap out specific in-game world resources to get other different resources and currencies. So say you're running low on Glimmer, you need more to pick something up that you want to pick up. You can swap in any world resources you've bought, and it rotates depending on the day what specific swap you can get. And you can also directly purchase world resources in exchange for legendary shards. I don't really recommend it, but if you were close and you just needed a handful, you could do it. This one in the middle is very much kind of, I don't want to say it's in-game, but this is the high-spec stuff. So enhancement prisms and ascendant shards. These are required for leveling up your gear. They are costly. It's best to try to earn them organically from playing the game. But again, if you're getting close and you just need one or two, it'll tell you exactly what other materials you have to trade into them to pick one up. And they give you different options for what you can do. Then Ascended Shards are the most expensive. They are very much the high end. If you have exotics you're trying to masterwork, you're going to need Ascended Shards. So these are costly. Again, you can get them in-game, but it does kind of have a skill cap on it because you have to do really hard things to earn these. On the very bottom here, special orders. You can utilize legendary shards to trade in for specific things. The cores you can convert into prisms. And if you need cores, you could trade prisms into cores, though when you're just starting out, I don't recommend it because these are much easier to come by than these. But you can also trade in legendary shards in exchange for these items. And then these final two, Ascendant Alloys, these are new as of the drop of the Witch Queen, and they are used in weapon crafting. Weapon crafting is a very, very cool new feature to Destiny, and we'll make a separate video on that because it's rather in-depth. But that is Master Rahul. The next vendor over here is going to be the Gunsmith. This is Banshee. Same thing, you hold down X, you can interact with him. He is going to have rotating daily bounties. These will give you XP. You can see where it says rewards when I hover over. You'll get an enhancement core for completing what the daily bounty is. It'll tell you exactly what you have to do. And you'll also get rank progress. It says Gunsmith rank progress. All of the vendors in the game are going to have ranks, and you earn the rank rewards by progressing through by doing things for them. So it'll tell you where you are along that path, and you can reset when you're done and do it all over again. But these daily bounties, you can pick up the 5 here, 1 per 24-hour period. And then the final one, you'll notice compared to the others, it doesn't say rewards XP plus, it just says XP. So you don't get as much XP, and you can hold 5 of these at a time and then turn them in, and you can re-up as many times as you want, and it does cost Glimmer to purchase those. Then down here, the material exchange. This is where you can pick up daily modifiers. I recommend checking with him every day because they rotate, they change. So any that you're missing, you're going to want to pick up. As quickly as you can, you want to get all the mods in the game because that lets you customize your build. Then the last two over here I want to point out is upgrade modules. These you need for upgrading gear. That's guns and armor. So you're going to be burning through these constantly, and you'll see that you can purchase them from him directly, and it tells you what the cost is per item. Then you'll notice that there is a bar over here with an arrow, and you'll see two lines at the bottom. That indicates how many pages there are. So if I tab right, the line moves over to the right one, and if I toggle back, it goes back to the left one. All the vendors function this way. On a weekly rotation, he's going to have different weapons that you can pick up. So you can scroll in, see what they are, see what their stats are with the different perks that they have on. Often he has very, very, very good weapon rolls. So it's always worth checking once a week to see exactly what he's got if it's something you're missing or interested in trying out. And that is the gunsmith. Still in this main area, the next person I want to point out is Commander Zavala. He is right over here, and he is the Vanguard operator, the Commander Zavala. So if you interact with him, you will see he uses the exact same interface. I have rank with him that I've worked up over the season. Same thing, you can scroll through to see the rewards, and just like all the other vendors, he's got the same structure for bounties with the XP plus, and then the daily you can hold up to 5, turn in, and then reset as many times as you like, so long as you have the glimmer to buy them. Just like everybody else, he's got armor that you can purchase directly from him. We'll see down here the two lines, so he has a page 2. So we toggle over, and there's a few additional things you can pick up from him, as well as seasonal quests. So the Vanguard ops are related to Vanguard strikes, and we'll drill into the menus of how and where to get to all of this stuff, but for now I'm just going to point out who the vendors are, what they have, and why you would want to go to them. Lord Shax over here, he is the Crucible, one of the two PvP areas vendor here. Exactly same setup as everybody else. You have rank towards him. He will drop you engrams just like everybody else as you get them ranked up. Same thing, you'll see your rank rewards. And just like everybody else, your daily bounties with the XP plus, and then the repeatable ones for slightly lower XP. Again, he's got his own armor you can purchase directly, and we scroll to page 2. He's also got some miscellaneous unlockables if you're so inclined. And that is the main starting area here of all the vendors. Now this is massively important. Right over here is the vault. So the vault is where you can store all the stuff you want to save that you don't have room on your person. So say depending on the activity you're playing, or just to switch it up, you want to run a different build, you can store all the rest of the stuff in this vault. And they have increased the size of it up to 600 now, so you can kind of hold a lot of stuff. I've played for years, and I have to constantly come in and just kind of make decisions about it, but just starting out or returning after a while, you're going to have plenty of space. You can scroll through with these buttons over here, and it separates it out by kind of power type, though you can change the sort. I'll leave it to the default, so it starts with all kinetic weapons first, and then it jumps to energy weapons. My person, I have the max amount of allotted energy weapons in my on my person slots, so that's why these are grayed out. But I could swap those out at any point here. And then as you scroll through, it will jump into power weapons next. That's what is lit back up, not grayed out, because I'm not maxed on those. And then after that, it starts sorting out into your armor. So this is the vault. You can constantly come in and out and swap out to test out different loadouts, store all the stuff you're not sure if you want to keep or get rid of. It costs you nothing, so I recommend holding on to it until you get comfortable and figure out what you enjoy rolling. And kind of in the middle here, before I forget, this exotic archive. This is really cool and very, very powerful. If you haven't played in a long time or you're brand new, what you may not know is that seasonally, with every new season, they drop new exotic armor and exotic weapons. That's the top spec stuff in the game. But if you come here, you can purchase them directly from this kiosk. All the stuff that's existed since before you jumped back in. And if you hover over it, it'll tell you what it was. It'll tell you what it is, give you the stats, and it also tells you at the bottom there what materials you need to purchase them. Up here, you'll see exotic ciphers. We'll get into that when we get into the kind of currency system in the game, which is kind of convoluted. That spoils of conquest. That's another trickier one for new people. Those are only acquired from doing raids, which is the pinnacle PvE content in the game. But you can hover over, see everything, and they have them all the way through multiple seasons. You just hover over, toggle, scroll through, see what it costs until you have what you need to purchase what it is you're looking for. And then at the very bottom here, legacy gear. This is for what they called pinnacle gear that they phased out because, frankly, some of this gear was so overpowered that they considered it a bit broken. But if you wanted to pick up any of the old pinnacle gear, this is where you can do it. Same thing, you hover over, it'll tell you about it, tell you what it is, and tell you what it costs to purchase it. And that's how that functions. Again, there's multiple pages, so you can toggle freely to and fro to see what all is on offer. And then interesting in the legacy gear, they do have specific weapon ornaments if you're interested in having a different skin on it. So very, very cool place. It does take a while to get those because you have to play for a while, do some harder things in-game in order to do it, but it's always there as an option. So the next thing we're going to do is we started facing this way just so you don't get turned backwards. So we're pushing straight through this narrow corridor to the right, just past Banshee. And I'm going to jump straight over this edge and turn right and run down this hallway. And this is taking us towards the Annex, one of the fast travel points, but there's a couple key points over here as well. Ikora, she is kind of the Warlock Council in-game, but she is also where you purchase your different loadouts for your different subclasses in-game. So if I hit Start and I scroll over here, it'll say Stormcaller, Dawnblade, and Voidwalker. Those are the names of the different Arc, Void, and Solar subclasses on the Warlock. And then there's a rightmost you can toggle, and this is called Shadebinder. That is for the kind of ice-focused one in-game, but all of these have different perks and abilities, and how you get them is interacting with Ikora. If you're a returning player, this is new. If it's been a year or two since you've popped in, you can now fully customize your subclass, and you can drill straight into these menus just like everything else and see what there is. And you hover over, say I wanted to scroll through Void. Obviously, they're all checked off. That means I have them all unlocked. But you scroll in, you can see all the different abilities, and it tells you exactly what it costs to purchase them and tells you what it does. And you can do this all the way through. Now, if you're a returning player, what you will think is quite neat, if I scroll into the grenades, for instance, you'll notice right away that there are grenades in here from different character classes, Hunters and Titans. This is part of the update they did in the last year and a half. So you can fully customize. Just because, say, I like playing Warlock doesn't mean that I can't use a Titan or a Hunter grenade. So very, very cool, and it really lets you customize your build. Now, after you purchase all of these things that you want, you will have to back out and interact with this kind of round object sitting on this table right here. It will be immediately obvious when you walk up to it if you actually have some stuff to turn in. That's how it activates what you just purchased. All right, then immediately behind Ikora, you turn around, you walk up the staircase right here. This is Soraya Hawthorne. She is your clan vendor. So if you're a member of a clan, you can earn XP towards your clan for doing stuff every week. This is also where you can pick up raid banners. This is for Pinnacle PvE content. And then you can also pick up bounties from her directly, and it'll tell you exactly what it gives you for completing them. And yes, you do earn Ingrams as well, which will drop you random items just for leveling up and completing weekly objectives with her. Then the next area of importance is going to be down this stairwell back here. This will take us directly to the Annex. We could fast travel here, but I may as well just show you how to get down the stairs. It's kind of a long staircase. But you walk all the way down, and then the first door on the right will take you over to another one of the vendors. This is the Black Armory, Ada. If you hold down X, just like all the other vendors, you will notice immediately that she has bounties, though her setup is different. You don't earn rank with her, but she has different bounties, and she also sells armor, and she sells a different daily set of mods. This is really important to know. So the Banshee gun vendor up at the main area sells daily mods. She has 4 different mods. So make sure to check both of them every day while you're building up your mod collection. This is where you check them, and she also has the option to pick up upgrade modules. Now, she also has this thing in the back over here, the armor synthesis device. This is where you can get the ability to purchase cosmetics yourself. From doing her bounties and quests for her, you will earn this in-game currency called Synthcord, and with that, that will allow you to purchase the rights to specific kind of armor patterns. Like right now, I have this one on. It is craftable from multiple different means. This one I bought in the store, but there are others that you can purchase just by running bounties and kind of change out your look. So pretty cool. The last vendor in this area is going to be the Drifter, and he is for an interesting game mode in the game called Gambit. He's right down the stairs through this door. And he functions just like all of the other vendors. You get rank up, you can earn engrams with him. Tells you what your rank rewards are. He's got the same structure on the daily bounties and the repeatables, and multiple pages of different things that you can trade in for different weapons and gear. Now, Gambit is interesting because it's kind of a hybrid of PvP and PvE in this game, and it's a game mode that frankly isn't super popular, but there's a lot of really good loot you can get from playing it. So I always make sure on each new season to check in and play it a bit, and you can also earn XP. So never a bad idea to check in with those guys. From here, I'm just going to fast travel right back to the starting loading zone, the Courtyard, and then I will take you to the third and final area of the tower. I know it's a lot to take in, guys, and it's really easy to get confused and lost. That's why I'm pointing it out. So we're back here again, facing in the same starting direction. You turn immediately to your left. There's another staircase over here, and this takes us into the final area of the tower here. And there's a few things here that you can interact with. The first is this vendor right here, which really only comes into play in the very beginning of the game, Amanda Holiday. You can pick up some early game different types of vehicles, ships, and your kind of speeder that you use to fast travel around in maps, and she will occasionally have quests, and that does include exotic quests. I've already done all of them from her. The next thing that I want to point out is directly across from her. Up here, up this staircase, is one of the possible weekly load-in locations for Xur. Xur is a weekend-only vendor where you can do quests to earn exotic ciphers. You can use those at that exotic kiosk, and you can also purchase exotics directly from him every week with all the different character classes you have built. Standing right here is one of the possible spawn locations. You'll know him when you see him, so this is not his spawn location this weekend, but I just wanted to point out, if you find out that he's in the tower hangar this week, that's where he will be spawning. And then the final vendor is Saint 14. Saint 14 is where you can do the pinnacle PvP content in the game, and that is Trials of Osiris. It is highly competitive 3v3. You'll notice, just like any other vendor, you can gain rank towards him, and you also get different rewards. You do have to purchase the right to play it every week, and it tells you that there are specific perks that are attached to these specific passages, is what they're called. So depending on what the perk sounds best to you, that's the one to purchase. It tells you you can purchase them with glimmer and shards. And then he also has a page too. Just like all the other vendors, he's got his bounties, and that does include the repeatable dailies. And down at the very bottom is the list of all of the trials equipment you can potentially unlock. You'll also notice he drops engrams, his or trials engrams, which will drop a random trial armor or weapon at random. It's completely RNG, and you turn that into Master Rahul as well. But down here, you can see what all of the swag is you can get from him, and in general, these Trials weapons are some of the best in the game, both for PvP and PvE. So yes, it's very hard, and when you're new starting back or just coming back in and your light level's not very high, it is a challenge, but it's also very fun and worth the grind if you can put it in. Some really, really great loot down there, guys. So that is the tower in a nutshell. There's three main areas: the hangar over here, the courtyard in the middle, and the annex over on the opposite side. So there's a lot to take in. I hope that walking you through, showing you where everybody is, what their menu setup helps. And of course, over time, as you come up here and interact with different things, you will learn the lay of the land. You won't get as lost. But don't forget, if you're ever feeling lost, you can always hold down the back button on the Xbox, of course, pull up the map and kind of figure out where you are, that green arrow in relation to where it is you're trying to go, and that can help point you in the right direction. All right, guys, I hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next one.